just so Lord, we thank you in advance. Get ready, get ready. People get ready. That's the train a-coming. You don't need no baggage.
Good God afternoon. You have tuned into another episode of Solutions. I am your host, Minister Corey Wright. As always, we know we need to solve them. What I offer on this platform is solutions. Dedicated acts of action that bring about true change, not just talk about change, and no excuses. Excuses are man's tools of incompetence that build bridges to nowhere, monuments of nothing. Broadcasting live from IntellectualRadio.com, our radio station. Oh man, my man Brandon tuned in. People of God, today we're going to be dealing with intimacy versus sex. And so many people got the two mixed up. You know, they are totally different entities, and sex is not always intimacy. Intimacy is not always sex. You know, they can work together, but a lot of times you need both. If you don't have both, then you just have a physical act with no intimacy. So therefore, the only pleasure you have is in sexually with somebody physically, but you don't have no emotional, no financial, no spiritual, or no mental ties with that person. It becomes just about being physical. God, the solutions need your help. Please donate. I have a GoFundMe page set up on my Facebook page. Any donation will be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much. Help keep this vital voice for the community on. So please go to my GoFundMe page on my Facebook page and donate. People of God, let's get really into it today, because I want you to examine, do you have a relationship of intimacy, or do you just have a sexual relationship? Start. Let me just let everybody know, never ever think that you're too spiritual or you're too good to ever fall into a sexual immorality. Because if you say that you can never fall into a sexual situation or a sexual immorality, then you're saying ultimately you have a heart better than David, which God said David was a man after his own heart. You're saying that you're smarter than King Solomon, which he said he was the wisest man on earth. And then you also saying that you're stronger than Samson, the strongest man in the world. So when you say that you cannot fall into any sexual immoralities, or you can never be caught up in a sexual situation, then you're saying you're better than all three. We can all fall in that. But see, the thing is that we're missing in our relationships, missing in our communities, missing in our lives. We're missing intimacy. Hey, Miss Dominique. Hey, Shakita. Thank you guys for tuning in. Are missing intimacy. And we have gotten to a society where we think it's all about the physical. We think it's all about the sexual. You know, and we got to the point where we don't look at people no more for being the people of God, the wonderful inside. Because what happens if you can't make love? Even nobody physically. What then? See, that right there shows that it has to be a greater connection, because you are mind, body, and soul. And if you're going to be with somebody completely, you have to be with them mentally, you have to be with them spiritually, and you have to be with them physically. Now, a lot of people don't know the differences between sex and intimacy. And intimacy has to lead before sex. If sex leads before intimacy, you have already lost that relationship, because the only comfort you have is in somebody physically. See, I want somebody to stimulate me intimacy with a great mind. I want them to have a strong mind, somebody that can talk to me and they can lift me up. See, that's intimacy. For somebody when they need you financially, that's intimacy. You know, being there for somebody when they can count on somebody, when you cry, when they need a shoulder to cry on, that's intimacy. See, intimacy is enjoying somebody's presence, not their physical intercourse, but enjoying somebody's presence. They can sit with somebody and be in their presence for time after time and not want to do something physically. See, we have gotten to the point it up, and all we want is physical. So, to you, intimacy is at the heart of a strong relationship. It is about knowing someone deeply and being able to be completely free in that person's presence. That's intimacy, not intercourse. Intimacy is to be totally free. I want to be intimate with somebody, meaning I want to be able to be totally free in their presence where I don't have to worry about holding my guards up, where I can let out the things that I need to let out. I can be totally open. That's intimacy. See, a lot of times we're not intimate with people. We know what we want. We know what we got to have. We get to the point. That's why married couples, a lot of times you got married people that's married to each other but never been intimate. You see, when you look at scripture, the Bible says that a woman's body is under the authority of that man, and that man's body is under the authority of that woman, meaning that it is up to us to please our partner. That's how we get pleased. So if I'm trying to please you and you're trying to please me, intimacy. Now, there are levels. See, some people think also, they think that it's a state of emotion. Intimacy is a state of emotion, but it's not. Intimacy is that which exists outside of emotion, even though emotion exists. Oh, that's good. I feel like Dr. Phil today. Intimacy is being able to be there around somebody, with somebody, for somebody, even though they're in an emotional state, not sexual. See, so many people take advantage of people's emotional state to get sexual gratification. That is totally wrong, because it's in that emotional state that they're in the most vulnerable state. That's when the greater intimacy takes place. So a lot of times, sex is a part, and most people think it's a trade-off. You give me sex, you're gonna make me feel good. You got a lot of men, and I'm not squaring up on the men, but you got a lot of men, they feel like, okay, hey, listen, I bought a new suit, I cleaned out my car, Chris, I'm spending $200-300. We gonna go home and do something. Just shake my hand and kiss me on my cheek. Unfortunately, you have a lot of people do that. But I tell, if I was ladies, I'll tell them, sure, it should be an exchange. So if you want my body, you want my life, I tell you what, I exchange my body for a ring of marriage. I exchange it. Okay, let's exchange it. Same thing with a female. A lot of times women look at you crazy when you say, I'm waiting for my wife. I don't want to do anything. I had somebody tell me, well, I must don't like women. Why? Because I want to treat you like a woman. That I want to wait till I get married. That I want a soulmate, not a soul hour. I don't want a night. I want a soulmate. And I had somebody tell me, you must don't like women. No, I love women, but I don't want to sleep with you because you know why? There's a transference of spirits when you sleep with somebody. Every negative thing, everything they've been through, it is exchanged from you to them. That's why what the Bible says, what God put together, let no man put under. A lot of people that God we have in our life, God didn't co-sign for that. That's why no intimacy. That's why even with God, you gotta have an intimate relationship. You gotta be into him. You gotta want to spend time with him. You gotta read his word. You gotta pray. You gotta be close to God. Intimacy is so out of the physical. See, true intimacy makes the physical better. But there has to be a level. So in a relationship with intimacy, first, there has to be a spiritual intimacy with the person. And the reason why that is important, because the person has to be called by God, and they also have to be conducive to the call of God on your life. You got to take emotion sometimes out of intimacy, but you have to be spiritually intimate with that person even before you even think about physical. Thing can happen where you can't be physical, you can't have intercourse, but you have to love that person enough to love that person's presence enough so that meaning if you can't be with that person, you'll love them anyway. Because let's be real about this, people of God. Why you think your exes hate you so much? I tell you why they hate you so much. Because the physical was good, but there was no intimacy. There was no spiritual intimacy. There was no mental intimacy. There was no intimacy, period. It was just physical. How you doing? You look good. I look good. And bam. And then one day, because I'm telling you, it's a tie. It's a strong tie when you physical with somebody. Because now you don't open up a floodgate of emotion and they don't want to let you go. How much somebody love you by the way they treat you and hate you later. That's how you know you've really made an effect on somebody. I don't judge my progress by my people who love me or who love my posts or who love what I do. I judge by the people that hate me, because you can't attack nothing that ain't worth nothing. So you got to be spiritually intimate with a person. God is spirit and truth. If you're intimate with somebody spiritually, the truth will show. You can have your actions with your words, but you can't hide your spirit. And God will give you discernment for people that's in your life. Trust me. You got to have a spiritual. Another thing is you got to have mental. You have to have mental intimacy. Somebody that raises your intellect and stimulates you mentally. See, you got so many people out there who don't have a conversation. They don't have nothing to talk about. Everything is the problem they're going to. A lot of times they don't call you unless they're going through stuff, but they never call you in an intimate way of lifting you up. Every time I talk to somebody and I lift them up or give them a good word of God, I'm being intimate with them. I don't have to be physical with anybody to be intimate with them. And that's how we have lost that mental capacity of being intimate. We would talk about problems. We talk about our family life. We talk about our job life. We talk about everything, and that becomes our life, and that blocks and that kills our intimacy, our mental intimacy. People want to talk to somebody that makes them feel good. Around somebody that lifts their spirits up. People want to be around somebody that I feel your energy. That is intimate, not being physical. Because when you're physical, you're not talking about nothing. It don't become a physical. When it becomes physical, it no longer becomes an intimacy. It becomes a physical act. And like I said, ladies, if a man takes you out and he takes you to a fancy restaurant, spends a lot of money, and he expects something to end of the night, you tell him, I'll make a swap with you. You give me a ring and you marry me, I'll give you everything you want. There's no swap. And if he get indignant, say, okay, I tell you what. If your car was clean, I'll help you get it dirty. Or tell you what, here, I'll give you half on the bill. You know, because you are worth so much more. And if a man or a woman can't be intimate with you without intercourse, person you be with. Because stimulation comes for so many ways than just physical. Physical is a part of it after the commitment. You don't, that's why it says wait until you get married to have sex. Right? But then you have built up lineage, you have built up foundation, you have gotten to know each other in the spiritual, in the mental, and in the financial, and so many other intimate ways. Therefore, when you get into them physically intimate, then therefore you are making love to them, because love have been established, and it goes from step to step to step to step. People just jump in bed. There are some beautiful, crazy people. I see some of the prettiest ladies that I thank God for saving me, but I've seen some of the gorgeous women in the world that I've said, wow, but I don't want that crazy. People of God, Samson was strong, but he was weak physically. His mom and his dad said, no, you know, out of all the people in the world, you end up with her? Destroyed Samson. If you read scripture, there was a part where Samson walked up on a lion he had killed, and it had honey on it. You don't eat honey because, you know, most times flies hang around dead things, flies. But this particular lion that Samson killed had honey on him. And Samson ate of that honey and took that honey back to his parents, and they ate of it. So he defiled himself and he defiled his parents. But here's the lesson in that, and I didn't get that till I read that scripture, that there are some dead people that look good. There are some dead people inside, dead people that got some good tasting honey. There are some people that you can look at and say, this person is a bad mama jamma. I know they feel good. Got the worst attitude, got a dead attitude, got a dead personality, always want to keep up stuff. They just find bombs that were ready to blow up in your life. And a dead thing. So, and that honey was good. Honey was good. It was so good that the scripture said bees was flying around the lion with honey in it. To let you know that everything dead ain't gonna always taste bad. See, it's easy to get into something because once they got you in that web and they got you in that situation. See, I'll wait till I get married because to me, it's a life commitment. You know, now again, I'm not gonna say that I'm perfect, and I'm not saying that I can't fall short or that I'm not weak or that I can't find that I won't slip or anybody slip. Because again, if you say that, then you're saying you got a heart better than David, you stronger than Samson, you smarter than King Solomon. So you can't never say that. See, it look now. Here it is. This is how how she got Samson sleeping in his bed. Then she turned the emotional thing, and so many people mix up intimacy with emotion. And it's good to get what you want from somebody when you mix it up outside of the physical. A lot of people mix up intimacy with emotion behind physical. That's why it's easy. She did that, and she used his emotional state. Tell me where your strength comes. And what happened? She ran back, and they got Samson. But here's the thing about Samson. See, even though Samson messed up, that's why it is so important to know who you are, and you are called to God, because God can use your mess up still for his glory. Because according to the Bible, Samson killed him. A lot of people won't agree. You're right, Tasha. A lot of men ain't gonna agree. You know, I'm telling you, you see somebody, they look amazing. They look amazing. It has gotten so bad that when you find a man, a good man, somebody who treats you good, who wanna love you, a lot of times we think something wrong with them. Because I love God and I'm gonna treat you like I treat my mother and I'm gonna do for you, I gotta be a punk. It's got so bad that intimacy is gone. You see these ladies with these gangsters, or you see these women who just talk to them and do any kind of way. It is amazing that we have gotten out of romance and we have gotten out of intimacy. Because you know why? Everybody's concerned with sex. They're concerned with their needs. They're concerned with their wants. And they're missing out on the beauty of intimacy, the beauty of a relationship, and the beauty of love. So what happens is after they got the sexual goodies, they want to try to make love or try to love somebody. Because see, once you got somebody in that vulnerable position and that vulnerable situation, now you open spiritually to this person. That this person came with, all the people that they slept with, all the imperfections, all the things that they deal with in life, it is now on you. You have to be careful who you invite in your house, because they come in there with spirits. You got to know who you invite. And intimacy, people don't get that. It is, people always say to me that sex is making love. Sex is a quick act of physical pleasure for the purpose of feeling good, but it's not making love. Making love is continuously. Soul ties are real. All right, Tosh, you got to call in 708-223-8953. I would love to hear from anybody. Again, call in 708-223-8953. It is soul ties. It is soul ties. That's why it is our duty to be able to meet somebody, but be whole ourselves as people first. So that when we do meet that special person, we can have an intimate relationship. And let's be real about it. I got 3 son moms. I got 3 kids by 3 son moms, and we can't get along. We fought for years. But when I was making my son, I wasn't thinking that. I didn't care. All I seen was that big butt and a smile, and I wanted a piece. And you got to understand, without intimacy and you just jump into the physical, that few minutes of pleasure will cost you a lifetime of pain. That few minutes of pleasure, it ain't even worth it. I have gotten out of the physical. When I was younger, it was about physical. Now it's about intimacy, because it's about where we're going. How are we how's our intimacy with finances? Are we working together to put up something for a rainy day, or building a business, or building a social? That's intimate, because we intertwine it with each other in intimacy. Are we mentally compatible? Meaning that we're not sitting up trying to find stuff to talk about, so we talk about somebody else's life. No, we're talking about how incredible we are. And that's why you can never stop romancing people. You got to realize what you did to get that person is what you got to do. See, real men and real women that love somebody, they keep doing what they've been doing. See, people think dating stop with marriage. Marriage is a longer date. That's what marriage is. I got that written down. Marriage is a longer date with commitment. I mean, you got to keep doing everything, because that's what you got. That's what you got. And I want to make sure that every day my wife, wherever she is, I love her, but I'm intimate with her. So much so that the physical is just that much better. Because a lot of bad people are good physically. And a lot of people get connected with that physical now, and don't realize that that physical has mental consequences, spiritual consequences, and depending on who that person is, who that person been with, intimacy. See, anybody can please you physically, but everybody can't be intimate with you. I want you to think about something. Sex without doubt is a basic physical act, and therefore can be argued it is without intimacy. However, making love infers that there is intimacy, a degree of connection associated with a physical act. That when you with the person you love and you're doing it right and you're married and you guys are happy, there's a intimacy connection with the physical act. See, we have gotten to the point, people, even married couples, make love to, they have sex and don't make love. There is no mental transformation, no transferring. There is no spiritual transferring. They're just a physical act. That's why they go be married 40 years and don't know each other. Because the only thing binding them is the kids, the property, the marriage, the name of being married, and the physical. But they never took the time to really get to know each other. Being intimate with your partner requires you to open up and be honest to him and her. That's the first part of intimacy, is being open and honest with people. See, I got a lot of people in my life won't tell me the truth. They like to talk around words. See, they don't want to be intimate, because see, if you be open and honest with somebody, then you open yourself up, and then an intimate act happens. But see, most people, they don't want to do that. Most people want to talk about stuff, or they wait till you get you into a position. One of the things that always burned me about people in relationships I've been in, that it cooks my noodle, is the fact when people won't say to me what they want to say to me while we're going through it, and then wait till they have me in a vulnerable position, and then they want to say what they want to say to me. Greatest turn off in the world. If you don't like what I do, be open and upfront with me in the beginning, so we can intimately work together to correct it. Don't wait till you got me into a vulnerable position and then you want to turn around and tell me what you don't like and what I'm going to do and how things going to be. What you going to do is lose that person, because you know what they're going to do? Everything you want them to do until they don't have to do it no more. And then they're going to leave you and you're going to be like, well, what happened? Okay, you waited till I got into a bad situation. Then you turned around and you said everything you wanted to say. People, we have to be intimate. We have to be intimate with people. For some, prevent sexual intercourse. Some people might have accidents. You know, you never know what can happen. A person can be paralyzed. But if you are intimate and in love with that person, you don't have to have sexual intercourse. There are some people I just love being around. There are some fun people female friends, that's gorgeous, but they are just good people that I just love to be around. They're funny, they're amazing, they always got a good word, they always got something good to say. Those are intimate people you want to be around. This does not take away from the important part of the relationship. It does not prevent the couple from having love and satisfaction in an intimate connection. Just because you can't have intercourse, it doesn't prevent you from having loving, satisfying, intimate connection. Intimacy can be cultivated in many ways, such as spending quality time. That's intimacy. See, sometimes just the quiet time with somebody, staring in their eyes, telling them how much they mean, that's being intimate. You know, it ain't all about sex. Most people say, I don't want to put myself in a situation because I'm scared I'm going to have sex. Sometimes you need to learn people away from people. Because, see, everybody have a persona, a facade. Everybody have on a show they put on in front of people. You never get the intimate them until you get the one-on-one with them. What do you want to do? You just trying to get me in a situation? No. Sometimes you need to, because, see, you act a certain way out in public than you act in there. My mom used to always tell me as a kid, boy, don't you show out in public. Because when I get you behind closed doors, I'm going to bust your head. So we knew when we went out in public, we had to act a certain kind of way. And if we act too crazy out in public, my mom would bust our head out there in public. So when you're around people, a lot of times another thing is enjoying the physical. Let's work out together. You know, hey, watching this transformation of this wonderful woman that's intimate. Watching her lose weight, watching me lose weight, watching me work out, pump up the muscles. She's pumping up the muscles. We take an aerobic class together. We take a yoga class together. That's intimacy. Because we love each other's company, not because physical. Wrong in a marriage, being physical is important because the Bible said we're supposed to please our mate. But what I'm saying is, before you even get to that, before you fix the food of a sexual act, you got to make sure the dinner table is prepared. You got to make sure the spread is prepared. You ain't gonna just eat it right out the pot. You're gonna get a plate, you're gonna set up the dishes, and you're gonna eat your food. It's the same thing with marriage. Set up everything. Do it the right way so you can enjoy your meal the right way. Because there's a difference in Christian married intimacy and love making than it is just being in the world. See, you just being in the world, you fornicate. And I'm guilty of that. You know, I've always been saved. I'm guilty of that. You know, but again, that's fornication. Now, married Christians, that's mate satisfaction. And there's nothing wrong. I'm telling you, ain't nothing wrong with being married. Ain't nothing wrong with being intimate with your partner. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But love and intimacy go hand in hand. The physical is a bonus. Another thing you can do is you can enjoy sharing interests and listening to each other. What kind of books you like? What kind of movies you like? Let me tell you something. You are more than a booty call. You are more than a body. And some of us think that. You know what? You just listen to people. The first thing they say, especially if you compliment on them looking great, or don't ever say they got a great shape. I went out with a lady who kept saying that most men are after her body. Okay, what kind of conversation you have? See, we got to know what we offer people. We got to know our worth. Some people value their worth by their body. You hear so many people say, use what you got to get what you want. That's why a lot of these women, you see them with the famous people, these women, they waiting around shows and everything because that's all they have to offer. You know, listen to me, dumb woman. I don't want a beautiful woman that can't stimulate me mentally and spiritually. I don't want a woman that can't pray for me, that can't give me a spiritual word. I don't want it. Dude, you have fine women, that's a problem. What have you done for me lately type people. The ugliest guy, and I ain't talking about nobody, but you got the guy because he's a dope dealer. He got the rims on. He got the big money. He the man. He got the greatest woman in the world. And she ain't for him because of him. She with him because of what he got. Being intimate has so much greater ramifications than we think. Because when you're intimate with somebody, you find out about them. You find out that no matter what happened, if we don't have finances the way we want them, I'm going to still be happy with you. See, when you're intimate with somebody, you're satisfied and happy. The reason, 99% of the reason why people cheat is because they're not happy with somebody because they're not intimate with that person. They're with that person for a reason, and they're with that person not because of they have stimulated them and mentally, spiritually, and then physically. Spiritual fulfillment, but they don't have any other fulfillment, so they're in a relationship, they're a stranger in a relationship. They have everything legally bound. They have a house legally bound. They have kids legally bound. They have all these things legally bound, but they have lost their self because they have lost their intimacy. What you can do, people of God, is be in a relationship with a stranger. And the worst thing you can do is to be next to somebody you feel alone. That is horrible. There are some people that value what they do by sleeping with you. Sleeping with you. And it's amazing how they value themselves. You know, I don't just sleep with nobody. So, you know what? I mean, you know, you want me, you know, I done gave you some, so now I'm moving in, or I done did this. Come on, man. Wake up, people of God. Wake up. Intimate moments are those that happen outside the bedroom. Let me say that again. The most important intimate moments are those that happen outside in the bedroom. Because if you think it was more important, you know, what do you have to offer? Again, I see some of the most beautiful women I've ever seen that got some of the worst attitudes. I see great guys that can be good men walking around here trying to be gang, you know, out here with their pants down, you know, that they can be good men. People, we got to get out of this notion of life that we are just the physical. So what? So what? You can make me feel good. You know, what happens when if there's no physical? What do you have left? So many people leave because that's all they got is physical. Another thing, one greater intimacy becomes a regular part of your life. You will get to use it when your partner isn't around. You will feel a strong sense of longing. When you are intimately connected with somebody, you miss them when they ain't around. One of the greatest intimacies becomes a regular part of your life is when you get used to that person being around with you. When that person ain't around, even when they go to work, you start to miss them. You start to long for them. You start to long for their conversation. That's why people that's in love and that's got an intimate relationship, they can be at work and have a long. They just seen each other all night and all day and can talk all day on the phone because they enjoy each other's company. See, another thing, having an intimate relationship is the most desired, often failed communicated, demonstrated to our mates. Intimacy is often failed to be communicated and demonstrated to our mates. What am I saying? We have gotten to the point that once we got the person, we stop doing what we did to get them. See, that is a crime in itself, and that's what kills your intimacy because you stop doing what you, when you met that person, they was all goo-goo that, oh, baby, you brought them flowers, you took them out to eat, you took them out dancing, and it's so another lady, you know, like I said all the time, in King Solomon days, you had to beautify yourself for a whole year before you got to see the king. But we got, so once I get you, now you got to see my bag. Why should I put on clothes and sit in the house? Why should I get my hair done to sit in the house? Why should I get my nails done? Why should I look pretty? You know why? Because I didn't marry you not looking pretty. I didn't marry you not looking that way. I didn't marry you not making me feel that way. Just like me. I try to look good in the crib. I try to look good for somebody because, again, you did not start with me that way. So why do you want to end with me that way? And that's where we lose so many people, because we fail to communicate and demonstrate to our mates on a regular basis. Another way, see, is through praising. People love to be praised in front of people. Now, you're not trying to impress somebody, but if you don't love your mate, why you want the people around you that love you to love her? Or why do you want the people around you to love him? I never did like that. When I'm around my family or I'm around somebody else's family, they want to act different. They want to act funny around relatives and friends and family. You know, I cannot stand somebody. You want to be all up on me. You want to be all in love with me. You want to be all in me. But as soon as you get around your mom, you get around your family, you get around people, you want to keep me at a distance. You want to walk away from me. You want to stay away from me. You don't want to be all up on me because you're ashamed of me or you're embarrassed or you got a facade to keep up with them. Or you don't want them and you want them to think you got it under control. Right there, that, you know, I want to build you up in front of the people. I want everybody in the world to know why I'm so happy. I want everybody to know why I'm in love. I want to know everybody to know the fire you set inside me. And I don't want you to love me behind closed doors. See, that's what a lot of people do. They love you behind closed doors. See, they don't want to be seen with you. Some people are married. Some people are in relationships. Some people are Facebook stalkers. And they just want to get you behind closed doors, and they'll tell you anything they got to tell you. They'll do everything to you because they're just trying to love you in a place where it don't cost them anything. Sometimes they don't want to openly tell everybody how much they love you. They don't want to openly tell everybody. Now, I understand people, don't get me wrong, you want to keep your mess off Facebook. Because if you put stuff on Facebook, everybody's going to comment, and then before you know it, it's going to get around, because I got Facebook stalkers. Some Facebook stalkers that want to know your business, people that don't want to give up on you, that want to keep on following you and find out because they want to see you miserable. And some of my exes, they want to see me sleeping on the bridge. They don't want to see me happy. But we love, and it feels good when everybody is talking about how much you're in love. And it feels good for people to see it genuinely. People don't understand how important showing intimacy is. And it's very underrated, but it's so needed. I want you to be my everything, not just my bedroom pleasure. I want you to be my best friend. Somebody asked me, is it good to have friends? I think your mate should be your best friend. I think you should be so intimate in somebody that there's your best friend. Because if you're getting something from somebody else that you don't get from your mate, something is wrong. You always, you know, I don't understand. Now, I don't have a problem with my wife or my mate having men friends. But if you're kicking it out with them and you're always on the phone with them and you're talking to them, then that's an intimacy going on that you're not having with me. I want my mate to be my intimate partner, my best friend, my confidant, my assignment. I want her to be everything that God created her to be, my helpmate. I want to be able to confide in her openly, and I want to be totally intimate with her. And I want our relationship. I don't want anything to impugn that. And I don't want to find anything in nobody else that I don't find in her. I want to be totally satisfied with her spiritually. I want to be totally satisfied with her mentally. And I want to be totally satisfied with her spiritually. And sometimes the physical is easy. It's the mental and the spiritual that's hard. Because I don't want no Sunday morning Christian lady and a hell raiser 6 days a week. Let me say that again. I don't want no Sunday morning hallelujah shout and then hell raiser 6 days a week. No, I don't want that. I want a rich meat of the minds. I want an intellectual woman. I want a smart woman. You know what turns me on? The most intimacy that I love is a brilliant, educated woman. I love a smart woman. I love a beautiful woman. But if she got brains and beauty, I am in heaven. Because I don't want no petty, small thinking person. Hey, Pastor Tia, how you doing? Well, your Pastor Tia, she on the line, my pastor, awesome woman of God, great pastor. So I want somebody that can be intellectually intimate with me. See, we have mixed this thing up from intimacy to sex. People have gotten to the point where they conduce their whole relationship on intercourse and not intimacy. Not the fact that this person makes me better, this person lifts me up, this person, it has nothing to do with physical. Physical will always be destroy a relationship if there's no mental and no spiritual. Destroy a relationship if there's no mental and no spiritual. Spiritual, right? You're going to wait till you get married. And if it's mental, you got somebody that can lift you up and pray for you and put hands on you and lift you. Therefore, the physical is even that much greater because you have a whole great multitude of blessings prior to that. People of God, we have to look at that. I won't meet none of mine attractive to me than a woman that's an intelligent woman. And I'm going to tell you something. Being intimate with somebody, you got to have a high level of transparency and openness. You have to be transparent and open. See, being intimate with somebody, it involves a high level degree of vulnerability. Because see, how can you not open up to somebody spiritually and mentally, but take your clothes off to them? I don't get that. Because therefore, if I'm not stimulated mentally, spiritually, financially, if I don't have a base of happiness, why in the world will I want to take my clothes off and let you transfer your evil spirits to me? We achieve a relationship. Emotional intimacy must act as a formula to enhance being and physical health as well. See, emotional intimacy is a formula to enhance emotional well-being and physical health as well. If I love you and I want to be emotionally intimate with you, I got to make sure I add to you, build you up. I got to make sure I lift you up. If I love you and I want to be emotionally intimate with you, I got to make sure you eat right. I got to make sure you live right. I got to make sure you exercise. I got to make sure you do those things. Because I want to see you emotionally fit. Because you know what? People don't realize Intercourse is an emotional act. It is an emotional act. And there are things that's transferred from you and that other person, and there are emotions and openness that you can't take back. So if somebody can open you up like that before they open you up mentally and spiritually, you have already lost. Put the physical, and again, like I said earlier, sex can't lead intimacy. Intimacy has to lead sex. If sex leads intimacy, intimacy is going to lose every time. And every time something is not settled, it's going to end up physical. Every time something is not agreed upon, it's going to end up physical. Every time something is not accomplished, it's going to end up physical. And then every time you want to walk away, it's going to be that soul tie, that spiritual tie. It's going to be a physical tie. And some physical ties can tie your spirit up, can tie your mental up. It can tie you up. You know, we use the term whooped or whipped, or somebody whipped it on you. And then you're going through life oblivious and not living because you put sex before intimacy. I want everybody to know my faults. I want everybody to know what I'm doing wrong. I want to know everything that I don't do right because I want people to make me better. Not change me into something I'm not, but make me better. That's what the right intimate partner with you are. The right intimate person to marry is somebody that make you better, but don't change you into something that you're not. That is. Now, let's talk about things that stop people from being intimate. Problems we face. One of them is we talk about our work all day, or we talk about our work day. Being a 911 operator, I can talk all day about some of the stuff I see, some of the stuff I hear, and the stuff that goes on in my job. We have gotten to the point where we're bringing our job, those negative people, in our house. There's no intimacy. See, I don't want you to be my mate, my lover, and my wife. I want you to be my problem bearer. I want you to be the one that I can unload all this frustration on in the day. Not saying what kind of day you have. So what happens is you wait and let me unload everything on you, and then I wait and let you unload everything, and then we tired. How beautiful each other is. You know, I'm too busy talking about my day, and I forget how beautiful you are, how wonderful you are, how you make me happy, how you look great today. You might have a new dress on, new hairstyle, but I'm too busy worried about them demons at the job, so I come home and talk about it. Another thing is we discuss domestic duties. Pick up the groceries today. Did you pick up the mess? Did you pick up the kids today? We got to pay this bill. We got to work this overtime. We got to do this, and we stop being intimate, and then we become an act, become a chore. The worst thing you can be in a relationship with somebody that becomes your chore and not your love. Let me say that again. Whoa! The worst thing you can be is in a relationship when the person becomes your chore. What do I mean by chore? Something you got to do. I don't ever want to be in love with somebody that I got to be with. I'm married to them, so I got to be with them. They don't make me happy. They got me sleeping on porches. They got me locked outside the house. Every other word is a cuss word. That is terrible. I'm going to tell you something. I don't care. I'm not going to be with them. I don't care. I'm not going to do it. I'm never going to be with nobody that make me. I don't want to ever be with nobody that becomes a chore. And anytime your relationship becomes a chore, something you got to do. I seen a man that was married 50 years introduce his wife. He introduced his wife so amazing, I wanted to run up and kiss her. He said, "This is my wife of 50 years, an amazing being. She's just as beautiful as she was the day I met her. My eyes, she is my second heartbeat. She is the reason why I get up every morning. There's many years I wanted to die, but I couldn't imagine leaving her. And if I do go before she is, I'm going to be waiting at the gates for her." I'm like, my man. Yeah, some people have been married 6 months. And yeah, this is her. This is my wife. Come on. This the old ball and chain. This the old bad shoe. But it's the truth. It is the truth. So they discuss domestic issues, They strategize over money and schedules. One of the biggest bullets in relationships, especially intimate or good intimacy, is money. See, I got to be with somebody that's intimately with me financially, because it has to be two minds working together for one cause. It can't be, okay, I make it, you spend it, you spend it, you make it, I spend it. It's got to be two people that's coming together. We got to be intimately in our finances, intimately in our future, intimately in our investments. We have to be intimately in ourselves, because we have to make sure that we have more than enough. So we have to be intimately in ourselves. So a lot of times we strategize over money and schedules. Also, we have to make sure that we find the time for each other. The worst thing is you to do is you have been in love with somebody with two different schedules. That is the biggest killer for intimacy, is that I work nights, you work days. We never get to see each other. When we get to see each other, we try to rush and be physical, and then we go right back to our lives. God gave you life and gave you more abundantly. You have to live it. You have to live it intimately with your mate. If you're not living intimately with your mate, then they become a stranger over time. They become a work person. And see, then the conversation becomes quieter and quieter. See, I want to have such a great dialogue with my wife that, you know what, it's going to be hard for us to go to sleep sometime, because we want to talk to her words, into who she is, that we can talk. But a lot of times, if your schedules are conflicting, another thing that can kill intimacy, and this is going to be a doozy right here, and it's for the females, but it's also for the men. This is for both. Organize events around exes and kids. That is one of the greatest bullets in intimacy, because what happens is, if you have to work together with your ex for your kids, but I think your new wife or your new husband should be involved in that, in the process, because what happens is it creates a situation physical with that person. See, one thing I don't do, I got 3 son moms, they ain't never sat down with each other ever. I don't intertwine nothing. And if I'm with somebody, I'm bringing them with me. We don't have personal conversations, period. Because first of all, I am not going to allow that to cut our intimacy. I'll have nothing to have. Because see, a lot of times, and let's just be real about it, we keep that relationship with our ex so that we can go back and hit them when we get ready. It becomes a physical thing. No intimacy in that. But let's be real. The intimacy in a relationship or a marriage can be destroyed when we try to organize events around our exes and our kids. I got my niece watching. Sean, I'm glad you tuned in. You watch your uncle do his thing. But a lot of times we don't understand that. Also, we have the importance of being vulnerable. Understand that our exes and people that have been in our life love our vulnerability. That's when they strike. That's when we lose who we are, and we lose our intimacy for somebody else when we're vulnerable. I make to be vulnerable with me, but in the world, I want her to be a lion. I want her to be a tiger, but I want her to be a lion. I want her to be a lion with me, and without me, I want her to be a lion. But we have to understand that we cannot let our exes or our kids destroy the intimacy with us. That your mate come before your kids. You guys are one. So when you work together for the good of the kids, then you won't destroy the intimacy with them. A lot of times, let's go. I'm going to read this now, and this is really powerful. Oftentimes, couples who have sexual problems usually have relationship problems. Oftentimes, people that have sexual problems normally have relationship problems because they have no intimacy. What happens is, once you get vulnerable and you've given your physical body, Now you're looking for, you feel empty because you've given yourself without having any intimacy or any mental or spiritual connection. Now you feel empty. So what happens is you cut off what you open. Make this person want to be with me more, want to learn more about me, but that's the check you wrote. You wrote that check. We have to take responsibility for the relationship we start with people. I'm not gonna give you my body unless we are spiritually and mentally in tune. And then I've done it right by being married, and I put a ring on it because I want the full package. Dinner, you don't just eat meat, you eat vegetables, you eat everything that comes with the dinner. That's like you go into Popeyes and you order a meal, but they just give you chicken. You ordered a meal, you ordered fries and a biscuit and a drink. So you have to look at that. You have to do that. One usually goes along with the other. I don't know if it causes other relationship problems. It may be a blur between relationship and sexual problems because there's no intimacy. So one is trying to blame the other. Most people fight about sex because they think sex creates intimacy when they're absolutely wrong. Sex is a feeling. Lifetime consequences for that brief feeling. Why do you think somebody can please you physically if they can't please you mentally and spiritually? The problem is sometimes they can't please you physically, but then you're left out for the rest of your life connected and committed to something that never goes nowhere. Who I don't like, I don't care what's one of my exes that don't like me and I didn't like. I'm never gonna say none of them wasn't good in bed. Live that life because I put that first. So every bad thing that happened, I was thinking with the wrong head. There was no intimacy. Maya Angelou said, when a person show you who they are in the beginning, believe them. And everybody that's ever done anything wrong to me, they showed me who they were in the beginning. I was one of the people that said, you know what, I'm not gonna listen. You know, I got to have this person, and I got him, and then when I got him, I got a lifetime problem. I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna blame her. I can't blame this person. I can't blame the person at all. You know. But let me go into, this time flying. Let me go into some things that we can do to be intimate with each other without intercourse. I can't be with somebody stimulate me mentally and spiritually first. Brilliant preaching machine. I love a wise woman, but I love a strong one. I know I need a woman intimately enough for me that can stand up to me. Sometimes I don't mean wrong, but sometimes I can be a bully. Sometimes I can push people, and I don't mean to, but sometimes I can. But I need somebody to see me in the spirit and see what God made me and be intimate with me to help me or be a better person, but be strong enough to tell me the truth. I don't want nobody to wait until they get into a better position to tell me the truth. Tell me the truth up front. If you think what I'm saying is full of crap, tell me that. But don't wait until I'm in a vulnerable position. I need you. So many people lose great intimate relationships because they think a person's bad or hardship is their time to get them back or get them to listen to them. You know what? When a person's going through their worst period, it's either your greatest period to bless them, help them, and show them a better way through example, or hurt them even worse. I've had some people that love to kick me when I'm down. Turn around and say, I love you, but then kick you when you're down. That is my pet peeve. And you are. You kick me when I'm down, I have nothing for you. But let me get into some things that you could touch each other. You know, too often, particularly in long relationships, we stop touching each other unless we have sex. You know, so many people, they don't hold hands no more. They walk around and, you know, they don't want to show emotion. They don't want to hug. They don't want to be around. As soon as people come around, listen to me. If you're my wife and I love you, you know, I'm going to hug you. I'm going to touch you. I'm going to be around you. I don't care who looks. I'm married. I took my vow before God. So therefore, you are my wife. I'm your husband. I'm not going to show you. You know, I love to see couples lovey-dovey. You know what I mean? We got to the point where we scared to touch each other. We scared to be near each other. We scared of what people thinking. Really? Another thing is always pretend. And one thing I'm going to do, you can make love, you can be in love with somebody and you can make love to them without being having intercourse, is you pretend you're always a new couple. I don't care if you've been married for 20 years. Always pretend that you are a new couple. Meaning that I got a job to do to make you happy. Every single thing that I did to get you to keep you. Whatever check I wrote to get you the check, I'm going to keep writing every single day. And if I got to work harder to keep that going, I'm going to make sure I work harder to keep that going. But people of God, if you're intimate with somebody, you have to keep doing what you did to keep them. That's intimacy. That's intimacy multiplied by consistency. Life forever equal. Let me say that again. Intimacy multiplied by consistency equals a happy life. You have to look at what you're getting. Another thing is you have to have outer course, not inner course. It's a course set for success. Woo! That's a good one. You got to have outer course. You got to have a course set for growing, for developing, for happiness, for finances, for life, for commitment, for calling, for everything. You have to have an outer course. See, if you have an outer course built on love, an outer course built on passion, built on drive, built on intimacy, then once you've done it right, inner course would be just that much better. You would be super happy. Another thing is you have to explore intimacy beyond sex by keep talking. And what I mean by not just rambling, but keep talking. By having something amazing to say, you got to be able to do that. You got to see, a lot of times people act ugly or make it about physical because they have nothing mental or spiritual to offer nobody. You can tell a person's demeanor, who they are, by their dialogue. People with some strong mouths, some great mouthpieces, but eventually their true actions is going to show. But if you got somebody that you can talk to every single day that don't repeat everything, that's why I tell people all the time, everybody can't be on the radio. You got a lot of people that love being on the radio, but they ain't got no talk about it. So they go on and ramble about the same thing. But when you got something to talk about, you got a call in life, God gave you a word or message inside, you can keep talking. People up. Now, here are some physical and emotional ideas to help you reconnect. Because now that I've given you some tools, I need to help you reconnect. Because some of you all in some relationships right now with some people that can be saved. So let me tell you something right now. Let me tell you some things that you can do that might be able to connect you intimately, not intercourse. Because again, wait till you get married, do it the right way, but you got to be able to please somebody mentally and spiritually before you touch them physically. Because there's consequences by doing it the wrong way. And I don't care how fine you is, there's nobody worth hell for me. I don't care if you could be the finest woman in the world, you ain't worth me going to hell, and you ain't worth my soul. beauty ain't worth my happiness. There are some people that will suck the life. They suck the life out the atmosphere. Gorgeous. I know somebody I work with, where I work at, but work at the airport. That's gorgeous. Can't find nobody. Because again, she has no intimacy. She thinks everybody wants her for her body. And then once they get her body, there is nothing to offer her for that. Because they don't have nothing to offer. Change who we are and track better. In the last show about karma is that we have to realize we attract what we are. When we get in tune with what God wants us to do and who we are, and we have an intimate relationship with God, then we'll have an intimate right relationship with man. How in the world you think somebody's gonna be intimate with you right way if they're not intimately the right way with God? How can you do that? How can I be your soulmate if I don't care about your soul being saved, or my soul's not saved by God? How? It is impossible. It will not work. So let me give you some things you can do. You can take a nice stroll on the block, hand in hand. That's the first thing you can do to reconnect. Sometimes you got to know when to tell somebody, you know what, be quiet. I'm going to shut up, you shut up. And let's walk. Let's enjoy life. Sometimes we get so bogged down with problems of life that we forget the beauty of God. This is a beautiful world. I know we see death. We see stuff happening every day. We see sickness. We see gang banging. We see a lot of stuff. But have you just stopped with your mate and looked on how beautiful the world is, how beautiful the birds sing, how beautiful they are, how the sun reflects off their beautiful face, just how amazing God made that mate? Have you just took a stroll down the block hand in hand and said, wow, I am a blessed man to have a beautiful woman like you, or a wonderful man like you? We don't do that no more. No more intimacy. Another thing is, before you go to bed, give each other a 10-minute massage before going to bed. You know, a day like you did. So your day ain't no bigger than her day. Give her a 10-minute massage. She give you a 10-minute massage before you go to bed. And it's for the married couples. 10 minutes. So therefore, you know what? Let me relieve the tension, and you relieve the tension from my day. Another thing is to sit in the park and share a towel. You're forced to be cozy up. Ain't nothing wrong with being cozy with somebody in the park. Maybe not today to the park, but during the day, about a lake in the park with a blanket. You know, send flirtatious text messages and build anticipation. You know, that lets your partner know you're thinking about them. I love texting my partner. You know, I love, I get married, I want to text them all the time. On my way home, you know, I couldn't wait to get home. I want to text like, hey, I'm coming home to the greatest of great. I'm going to leave everything at the door. Lay in the bed with your partner and talk when you get home from work. But totally talk about each other. Don't talk about, about the work. Talk about each other. Lay down or be with that person in bed and talk about each other. The point that everybody else's business is important than us. Every person that cursed us out, we're talking to our wife about it, or our husband about it. Everybody that did it, we're talking about them to them. We're talking about them. They become fixtures in our bedroom, in our house, in our life, and they're not even there. I'm never going to let somebody rest in my brain, rest in my house, rest in my life, and rest in my relationship, and they're not there. We have to talk to each other about each other and stop talking about that's intimacy. Another thing is reminisce on the first date. First met. Talk about what was it about you that attracted you. You know, it could be a wonderful smile. I know somebody with some amazing smiles, that will stop a train, that will stop a plane. They got such a beautiful smile. Another thing is cook dinner while you dancing to the music in the kitchen. I love to get dressed. I love to cook to music. I love to do that. And slow jam. While the chicken is in the oven, slow dance with somebody. You can do that. Also, spend uninterrupted minutes staring in each other's eyes without talking. Then reflect on the experience. How many people can just look at your mate without saying nothing? Because I love to talk. But how many of you all have been so intimate with somebody, not physical, not intercourse, but so intimate with somebody that you love them that much that you can just sit down and just stare in their eyes without saying nothing? How many of y'all would ruin the mood? Can't say nothing. I just want to stare in your eyes. You got to do that. Another thing is, like I said earlier, exercise together. But together, stay together. Because I want to see you with a long life. What's that Vanessa said? I have the eye to keep you looking that match the conversation. Yes, you do. Right. And see, we have to work out together. Because I want you to be around a long time. So if I want you to be around a long time, then I want you to be healthy. So work out together. Those that work out together, stay together. Make it like the beginning. So every time you see this person, you get butterflies in your stomach. Every time I walk up to my mate, I want butterflies to be in my stomach. I want to always feel like I am just the lucky and the greatest man in the world when I'm around. And that's intimacy, not intercourse. You can want somebody so bad that you don't have to be with them physically. I just love being around. Some people are just fun people to be around. Express gratitude for one you probably did. The act is grocery list center. Express gratitude. See, this is such a great thing that so many people miss in intimacy in a relationship. They miss gratitude. Because I'm married to you, as Vanessa said, people don't value relationships these days due to one right now gratification. That's so true. We look at it to the point whereas we take people for granted. I don't care if you're married to me. You don't have to be married to me. It's a choice. So I'm never going to take you for granted like you have to do. Divorce courts are filled because you have people losing the intimacy in what they did to get this person. So they take it for granted. Up and fix me something to eat. Do that. No. What happened to, hey, please, beautiful lady? I have met some ungrateful people. No gratitude. Gratitude. Stop trying to build a man or a woman that is not meant for you. That is so right. But ain't nobody gonna be meant for me that ain't gonna show me no gratitude. You're not meant for me. You're not built or you're not made for me. If you don't even, so thank you. That's why I don't start my prayer without thanking God for what he's given me. Because I'm thankful for what you didn't have to do. You didn't have to give me a new lease on life. You didn't have to give me activity in my limbs. You didn't have to give me a right mind. You didn't have to give me a renewed spirit. You didn't have to give me finances. You didn't have to give me resources. You didn't even have to give me this show. You didn't have to give me a mate. So I'm thankful for it. Another thing, I got to be thankful for the woman God gave me. You don't have to be here. People, love is a choice, not an emotion. Get this right. You got to be intimate with somebody. And let me go through some, because I got some good stuff I need to go through about things that I want you to look out for and to know if you're in a relationship that's physical or you're in a relationship that's intimate. A real woman, a man, never stop trying to show their mate how much they love them and how much they mean to them. anytime that you're in a relationships and this person stops showing their love for you, they have lost the intimacy and you are just becoming a physical thing to them. All you there is to provide their needs. They're not happy with you. And a lot of times out of 10, when they stop showing you how much they care about you, they're with somebody else. And they're only with you because they have to be with you, or they feel like they're forced, not because they're happy. So a real woman, a man, does never stop showing how much you love you. Now, let me go to another point. Number 2, I don't want sex. I want the things to lead up to it. Let me say that again. I don't want sex from no woman lead up to it. Like commitment, marriage, mental stimulation, spiritual stimulation, then physical. See, I want everything to lead up to it. You know, I don't want the sex. So I tell a woman all the time, you know, you just with me trying to get something, no thank you. Good. But I want everything to lead up to it. Because again, that's too much of a price to pay for who God created me to be, is to lay down with you sexually, because I don't want what you got. And I don't want not just the physical things you could have, but I don't want the spiritual or the mental caves that you have. So again, I don't want sex. I want everything to lead up to it. And if you don't want to do everything that lead up, because I want somebody to treat me right. You know? Now, another thing is there's no discounts on yourself. You are worth too much to give your body freely. You got to understand something. The only sales you get in the store, the only sales you get in the store, there is no discount on you. I'm being a good man of God that loves God. I know that I'm a good man. And I know that even Isaiah Day, they said it was 7 women to every man. And I know there are good men in here. And there are good men in the world. But I know what I represent and who I am. I know I'm good ground. And I know I'm a good man. I know I'm going to make somebody a good husband. So I don't want to give a discount on myself. I don't want to prove nothing to nobody. And if I got to prove something to somebody, that's the wrong person I got to be. Because if God made me and God made you and God don't make no junk, I have nothing to prove to you. Ordained before I was ever created. Again, before my mom ever met my dad, before my dad, mom ever met my dad's dad. It was already created. So you cannot tell me I have something to prove to you. See, that's common. We get to the point where we want to prove something to everybody and we don't prove to ourselves. So there is no discount in who God made you. There's no discount in you. You are worth too much to give yourself freely sexually. You are worth too much to be sexually free. There is no discount. Spirits are passed through, number 4, spirits are passed through sexual act. You know, a lot of time, you know, there are people that's bogged down with bad spirits. And it could be things that could happen to them. There could be things that they went through. There could be issues that they have not resolved. They're passing that on to you. You wake up angry, you wake up anxious, or you wake up feeling bad. That's because you slept with the wrong person. And you did what was outside, because if you did what God said did, you already have intimacy spiritually and mentally. So you would know that the physical would be great or be better. But so many people, you got to understand that there are spirits that is transformed. This is what Vanessa said. People learn how to date themselves, get to know who you are before you move forward. That is so good. That's another point. But that was my next point. Would you date yourself? See, how can you be intimate with somebody you can't be intimate with yourself? Open and transparent with anybody, you can't be open and transparent yourself. You know, one thing I gotta admit, when I was a big guy, 40-something pounds, I was not honest with myself about my weight. You know what I mean? I was not honest with myself about my weight. I remember thinking that I can go past the sheriff test and I'm going to run out there. Man, I did about 13 times. You got to run it 26 times. I couldn't do it. But I took that test not too long ago when I lost the weight, and I passed. I didn't want the job. I just wanted to see that I can do it. But how can I be open and honest with somebody? Yeah, I still remember stuff from your book. Open and honest with somebody when we open and honest with yourself. Would you date yourself? Would you date you? Some of you guys are picky about dating, and you wouldn't date yourself. You know, some of y'all don't even like yourself. Not intimate with yourself. Because if you're intimate with yourself, you know what you need to change to be intimate with somebody else. Another thing is, the standard is set from the beginning in intimacy. Everything you do should be a standard set in the beginning. You, the way God commissioned me to treat you, is because that's the standard I'm going to set. I'm going to make it a standard to treat you the best way that God has created me to treat you. I'm going to treat you like a queen. I am going to talk to you like a queen. I am going to get to know you spiritually first. Then I'm going to get to know you mentally first. And then once we get married, say I do, then I'll get to know you physically. But I am going to set the standard. People of God, when you are in a physical relationship, you are letting your physical and that other person set the standard. You have to set the standard because you have to know your worth. Your body, you give your power, and you give your vulnerability, and you set a standard. I tell somebody all the time, you know what? Don't get mad at this person who use you as a piece of meat. If you give them your meat first, they just taking what you gave them. You know, a lot of times people say, well, he don't treat me like, don't do for me no more. Okay, you know, that's why I don't sleep with him. Okay, you slept with him in the beginning. That's how the relationship started. You didn't have no vision. You didn't have no standards, no morals. You just did what you had to do. That is not intimate. Another one is you can't ask people in intimacy to play their part if you got other people auditioning for it. Oh, whoa! You know, again, that goes back to that friend stuff. Friends, and we just cool like that, or you know, that's just my girl, you know, that's my home. I've been up. No. You can't ask nobody to be the mate, the intimacy with that person if you got other people auditioning. You know what I mean? I don't want a harem. You know, I don't want concubines, so I don't need a lot of women hanging on to me. I just need my wife. You know, I just need a woman that love. So many times you got too many people that have too many people around them when they only should have one person they mate. I'm going to say that again. We got too many people. They got too many people around them when they should only have one, their mate. Another thing is a few hours of sex is not worth a lifetime of misery. Every court battle, every fight I've had with an ex, especially when it comes to my kids, because my kids are my kids for the rest of my life. I love them. I fight that woman. You know, but again, I got to fight. I got to go through negativity with this person. Even though we can't come together and be parents, I got to still fight them. You know, for that few little hours. For that few little hours. See, once you get up from that physical, you don't know who you're getting up with. And I'm going to tell you something. Seeing who people behind closed doors are so different from seeing them outdoors. Because they'll give you an audition tape. There'll be Bruce Banner, and as soon as you get him in a house, there'll be, I'm telling you. So those few little hours, you know, few little hours is not worth a life of misery. Being with an intellectual person means that you have found something more than sex. See, again, for me, there's nothing more attractive and more intimate to me than a brilliant, smart woman, an educated woman, a woman, you know, masters, PhD, somebody that's intelligent, a nurse, somebody that's got brains. That is the most attractive thing to me, because I know that this person is going to stimulate me spiritually and mentally, that's going to teach me something that I can ask questions to. I want somebody better and smarter than me. I want something I can ascend to. I'm not afraid of a strong woman or educated woman or a woman that do more. I love that. Some guys are. Some guys are intimidated by women who do more than they do. Some men are intimidated by women who got more than them, who doing more. I love it because you know why? You make me better. Because in order for me to be your helpmate or meet you or me to be with you, I got to raise my level up. I want somebody to make me raise my level up to be smarter, be better. You know, somebody, hey, I want somebody that's on the road, that's on the groove, that's going, because I want to go with you. I want to be just as good as you. I need somebody that like that. So again, when you meet somebody that's intellectual, you know, they have seen something more interesting than sex. You know, because that means that they have a mental capacity that will expand yours. So I love somebody expand my mental capacity, my spiritual capacity, because they got that. So that is very, very attractive to me. Something intimacy is loving someone even when they can't love themselves. Now, that is so important about intimacy. See, there are some people that went through some horrible things. There are some people that their own worst enemy. So you have to be intimate enough with that person to love them when they don't even love themselves. You know, I thank God for my church, Destiny Worship Life Change Center at 7959 South Western, service at 12 noon. Those people love me when I didn't love myself. My pastor loved me when I didn't love myself. When I thought the world was against me. When I used to give people good words, but go home into an empty, dark place, go home by myself, let people walk over me, you know, and those show you people that love you when you don't love yourself. That's intimacy. See, now I love myself, and I thank God for giving me the life He's given me and giving me a new lease on life, giving me the things He's given me. But I tell people all the time, you know what? Intimacy is loving someone even when they can't love themselves. You know, you got a lot of people that always look for the bottom to fall out. You know, I got a lot of people that call me when they are going through a bad situation. Give them a word anytime. I would love to hear from them just to see how they're doing or give a good word of encouragement. But sometimes that's what people do. But that's when you love somebody even when they don't love themselves. Now, there is a difference between like love and in love. See, when you're in love with somebody, you're in love with their faults, you're in love with their flaws, you're in love with all the things that don't make them the greatest. But you're also in love with all the things that make them the greatest. It's just physical. It is just physical. It is just somebody that looks good and you gotta have them. You want them, and you want them because of the way they look, not because of what they offer, not because of where they at in life, not because of who they are in life, not because of their lineage, not because of what they bring out in life. You just love them because they look good. And there are some very fine devils. Some people of God, there are some gorgeous devils. People that look like $1,000,000 that will destroy your life. You have to let God choose. And like love and in love is the same difference in being for now and for a while and forever. You like love, that's for now and that's for a while. But when you in love, that's forever. Ooh, let me say that again, people of God. That was good. I like that one. I like that one myself. When you like love, you just like a love for a person for where they look. And when you in love, you like a person for who they are, who God made them, and what they're going in life and how they stimulate you intercourse. That is in love. And the difference between like love is for now and for a while, but in love is forever. To be in love with somebody forever don't always lead to sex. Intimacy shouldn't lead to sex because a lot of times intimacy is so much more than sex. Let me read something to you guys, people of God. People think as a soulmate, it is your perfect fit. Everybody want as a soulmate, they want a perfect fit. But a true soulmate is a mirror. I want you guys to get this. People want a soulmate that's a perfect fit. But a soulmate is a mirror. That person shows you everything that is holding you back. That person who brings you to your own attention so you can change your life. People of God, you have to understand an intimate soulmate. An intimate soulmate is not a perfect fit. An intimate soulmate is a mirror. This person shows you everything that is holding you back. And this person brings you to your own attention so you can change your life. Never be my soulmate, be my wife, if you're looking for me to be your perfect fit. If you're looking for me to fall into your plan. But if you're going to be my mirror, and you're going to show me everything that's holding me back and help me overcome those obstacles, and you're going to bring me to my own attention, then you are my intimate soulmate. See, a soulmate is not somebody that's a yes man or a yes woman. All the time that I reach out to, it's easy to talk to a stranger because people love you too much not to tell you the truth. So they become your yes man. Let me yes you. You right. Girl, he ain't no good. But they ain't gonna tell you, you know what, I could treat that man better, or I could treat that woman better. They're gonna be like, you know what, you don't need is more fish in the sea. You know what? I'm tired of getting a barracuda the next time. And this time you got a shark. So people of God, a soulmate, an intimate soulmate will never be a perfect fit. And I know that's what everybody wants. Somebody that's compatible to me, somebody gonna work with me. No, it don't work that way. Get that notion out of your mind. It does not work that way, people of God. You have to be a person's mirror. You have to show that person everything that's holding them back. And you have to do it even if you hurt their feelings. Because I would rather for somebody to hurt my feelings and tell me the truth than keep me stagnated, keep me back, keep me down, or keep me not making it by telling me a lie. Because that's not benefit me telling me a lie. So you hold me accountable for the things that's holding me back, but you bring me to my own attention. And also, a true intimate soulmate is probably the most important person you will ever meet, because they'll tear you down your walls and wake you up. See, you are intimate with somebody. See, we all have these walls. We all have these walls we put up because we don't want nobody get into us, or get into our hearts, or get into our minds, or get into our spirits, and get into our souls, because we don't want to be vulnerable, because we don't want people to take advantage of us. So what we do is we put up walls. But a true soulmate is probably the most important person. You know why? Because that person, he or she, can get through those walls and wake us up. There's a giant that God put in you. There is a miracle that God put in you. There is a life that God put in you. There is things that God put in you. So therefore, what he put in you be activated by the right person. In ministry school, I was going to Living Word Christian Outreach College. I had my professor here, Pastor Childress, and she, amazing woman of God, amazing teacher. And I went to school, but it was when I went to Destiny Worship Life Changing Center after seeing Pastor Tia preach, which I knew him in high school, but I didn't know him, but I knew him. When I heard him preach, he activated me. And people, your soulmate activates the love inside of you. Tell you the truth. So again, let me break that down. Your intimate soulmate is not your perfect fit, but they're the mirror in your life, the person that shows you everything that's holding you back, and holds you accountable for changing your life. Also, a true soulmate is the most important person you will ever meet, because they tear down your walls and they wake you up. They get past your wall. Another thing, all relationships, especially great intimate relationships, have one law. Never make the one you love feel alone, especially when you're there in their presence. That is the greatest love of intimacy. Ain't nowhere in the world that I should be so into a game, so into life, so into problems that I make the person that love me feel alone. That's why so many people cheat. That's why so many marriages break up, because there are people that's in a house feeling alone. All they want you to do, they're narcissistic in their thinking, because all they want you to do is to concentrate on them. Concentrate on them. They feel alone. You know, how many people that you meet, and I meet this all the time, don't even say hello to me. Don't even say how you doing. They just go in on their problems. I have yet to call somebody and say, Corey, how you doing? Tell me how your day is, or tell me how you feel. I have not yet, but I'm working on it, having intimate relationships. For most of my relationships prior to now have been physical. I've had 3 kids out of wedlock. 3 kids. It's been sex. And none of them has worked. I want to be intimately involved with somebody. I want to know what makes them tick. I want to know what they love. I want to know what makes them happy. You know, I told somebody today, there's 2 things you got to know: who you are and what makes you happy. Expect me to make you happy if you don't know who you are. You can't expect me to give you what you want if you don't know what you want. So if you're going to be in an intimate relationship, you got to already know those 2 things. Who am I? I'm a man of God, chosen by God to preach God's word, to lift and empower people. I want a woman that's smart, that's educated, that's in love with me, that can lift me up, that can build me up, that we can work together. See, that's what I want. Who I am, and I know what I want. So in order for you to be with somebody, if you don't know who you are and what you want, you're going to make them constantly feel alone even though you're there. You got people that spend all day together with nothing to talk about, and they feel alone, and they become the people that they don't want to come in, and they don't know what happened to the passion. They don't know what happened to the love, because there's no intimacy. Another thing is, the best love is intimacy. It makes you into a better person without changing to anything other than yourself. The best intimacy love is the love shown to make you a better person without changing you into something you're not. See, you can never be intimate with somebody trying to make them into your mother, or make them into a past relationship, or make them into something that they're not. See, that is the biggest bullet in so many intimate relationships, because they have a fascination, or they have a fixation, or they have an already preconceived notion of what they want in a mate, or what intimacy should be. So what happens is they turn them into something they're not. The worst thing you can do, somebody in them, lose yourself into somebody else. And most times you lose yourself into them is when you put sex before intimacy. Intimacy has to always lead. So it has to be a spiritual intimacy first. Because if you don't love God, and you're not a child of God, and you don't practice doing what God has called you to do, you can't be with me, because I have to be spiritually fulfilled in you first. Then if you're not mentally, you're not intelligent, you're not smart, I have to have intimacy mentally. So if you can't give me mental stimulation or mental intimacy, then we're not going physical, because I don't care how good you look and how good you feel and whatever, you're not worth my soul. So if you don't give me spiritually first and give me mentally second, then you'll never give me physically. And I don't want them transferred to spirits. I don't want what you got, because again, that few hours of intimacy, that few hours of sex can give you a life of misery. I know, and believe me, you know, there's a lot of times I say, man, what I got myself into. That's why people hate you, and that's why you're mad at yourself. Or this person put something on you, and that's why they hate you. See, you know how good or how much you meant to somebody, how much they hate you. Because think about this, people of God, if you were that terrible and you were that bad, they'd be glad to get rid of you. You ain't never seen nobody in the toilet in the washroom after taking the number 2 saying, wow, I can't wait to see that go down the toilet. Some people flesh anyway before they get up. So if you're really that bad, then why do people hate you so much? You know why they hate you so much? Because you wasn't that bad. See, they hate you that much because they realize I done messed up on the best thing I had. Again, people, that comes with karma. But again, you got to make a person better without changing them into something they're not. That is the greatest intimacy in a relationship. When I can be better, I can be a better man, but I don't have to be a sinner. I can be a better man of God. I can teach better. I can preach better. I can be a better person with you, but I don't have to change who I am. So I'm not going to make you into some God and make you, and you can't make me into God, some God made me. That's intimacy. Remember this, people. Perfect relationship is just being with somebody that won't give up on you. That is intimacy right there. Intimacy is not a perfect relationship. Intimacy is somebody that won't give up on you. See, if you don't have intimacy with somebody, then they'll easily give up on you. Everything ain't always going to be easy. That's why you go through the things you go through before you get to the physical. Because you got to know that this person is in there for the long run. You got to know. You got to know if this person is going to take my good or take my bad. See, I have a thing about intimacy and how I see people. See, I see how people treat me and I'm my worst. See, that shows your value right there. When somebody going through the worst they're going through and you're treating them good. It shows great intimacy with somebody is when you don't have to treat somebody good and you do it anyway. Most people kick you when you down. Most people put you down when you down. Most people hurt you when you down. But then wonder why there's no intimacy and you don't want them. See, you know what means the most to me? And I don't know if my future wife out there listening. And if you're listening, I want you to hear this. You know what makes the difference in my life and my love and what I'm going to do to you, for you, and how we're going to grow is what you do for me level. Because anybody can value you when you're on top. The person that values you when you're on the bottom, that's true intimacy. See, anybody can, see, when you got something somebody wants, anybody can be nice to you and want to bless you and give you something. But true people bless you and give you something when they don't have to. That's intimacy. Love is a choice. Choice, people of God. It is a choice. It is not, intimacy is a choice. It is not an emotion, it's not a feeling. And just like Samson allowed his emotional state, so many people are making decisions out of emotions. And there are predators that's waiting to get you in an emotional place so they can get your clothes off. People of God, you have to realize your worth. The only discounts there are is in department stores, grocery stores. There's the only discounts. Self-worth, there is no discount. Because if you give yourself away or sell yourself, you might not never get back. And what you get back might be good again. Return item. And so many women are return items. So many men are return items. So what happens is you're getting sold in a thrift store instead of a department store. And somebody will buy you at a cheap price while and throw you away because you don't know your worth. I am good ground. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I am chosen by God, man of God. And I am a good man. And I know that I'm a good father. I know I'm a good man. I know I'm a good lover. I am a good person, period. So if there's somebody that wants to be intimate with me, you have to first be intimate spiritually. then mentally, then we'll do it right, the right way. Then after say I do, but until we say I do, we won't do it. But again, people of God, you have to know your word. You got to know your word. You know, I really pray that this show has blessed some people, you know, and understand that, and I tell people all the time, if it was easy, there would be no you. There would be no working in relationships. There would be no coming together, no intimacy. And intimacy versus sex, intimacy has to be first. Sex always has to be last. And what should separate intimacy and sex should be marriage. Marriage, then sex. You're doing it the right way. Get up and be your own rescue. Remember, you are worth more, and you are more than a body. God made you, and you got to remember that there is no discount to your life. You only got one. Make the most of it. People of God, again, we look for sponsors. Go to my page, go to my GoFundMe page, and please donate. If it was easy, there would be no Minister Corey Wright. If it was easy, it would be no you. See you at work, people, tomorrow. Peace.
The train to glory, picking up passengers coast to coast. Faith is the key. Open the doors and board this